All right, let's take a look at some of the advanced capabilities of the application. On the left-hand side, you've got your course navigator. All of these panes are sizable. So I personally like to give myself a little bit more room for the entire app. The other thing I want to talk about is that you can change the size of the fonts in each of the reading panes, but not in the content. And the reason why that is, it's by design. You can set this left content pane to be whatever primary text size you're most comfortable with. So if you zoom in on your browser, you'll notice the text gets a lot larger, and some people like to work with it where they have even more text visible at once. So it's completely up to you what is comfortable. We've made an effort to make 100% very comfortable for most, and you can notice that you can also change the size of your notes and your AI panel as well. Okay. So notice that the left-hand pane is my primary reading book pane, and on the right-hand side we have the static data that shows up. We also have a ASV, which is meant to be a more literal translation of the Bible, and then you have the more flowing language on the right-hand side with the World English Bible. We will be adding some licensed books. NASB 95 is one of them. The other one is the NLT. The idea being, you go through and you study and read the book of the Bible on the left-hand pane. You can skip forward a chapter as you read and progress through it. And if you happen to go several chapters in, or you're reading and you go, what was that verse I was at 3 verses ago? 1, 2, 3. I can go forward and back and be right where I started. So you have a history right here. You have the forward and back chapter books. And then you have the zooming and changing of the font. Same with the right-hand window. The difference with the right pane is, like I said, it's dynamic. So whenever you click on a link or a text, it will show up on the right-hand side. Again, you can go back and forth through the history. We also have the ability to change the font and the version, and the lexicon will show up here as well. So I'll show you how that works. If we pick a word like God, and when we double click it, we can either copy it and paste, or you can send it to AI, tell me about God, or you can send it to the lexicon, where we can see the Hebrew and the Greek original words. And you also have the ability to send it to your notes directly. So you notice it just showed up right over here. This goes for sections of words as well. So we can copy and paste it into our notes, but just to save you the trouble of doing it that way, you can also just highlight it and send it straight over to your notes with the far right icon. You'll notice too, when we highlight a sentence or set of words, we don't get the lexicon. That makes sense. We're not picking one word, you'll get the lexicon option, but you can also send that directly to AI, and AI will answer within context of the study that you are currently doing. It is designed to be rigorous and respectful to the original text, the context, the history, the audience, and the author. We are conservative in our theology, and therefore the AI will prompt and respond in that manner. The idea being, if we respect the Gospels and the scriptures for their original intent, that they were written by somebody to an audience inspired by God, by putting ourselves in those shoes and understanding what the scripture is saying, God will open your eyes to his word, and he will show you things and enlighten you and change your life. So we're not trying to teach a specific theology, a specific way of thinking or approaching the Bible, but we are giving you as much as possible an accurate presentation of the original language and words that God has used with those that he spoke to. And he speaks to you today as you read through those stories, which is pretty incredible. Also, by the way, you might want to notice this, you can even grab Greek and Hebrew words and send them straight to AI, and AI will enlighten you more on those words, because sometimes the Strong's is fairly straightforward. There's not a lot to say about it. But this will give you additional insight into what the word means, how it's used, other areas of the scripture that it's used, and you can again search and read through those. So that's the design, is to go through the course, static Bible reading through the scriptures here, dynamic Bible text here, as well as lexicon, and then the ability to send words or text or script directly to your notes, or to look up a word in the lexicon, as well as you can send notes directly to your note taker. At the bottom of the AI, we also have the ability to send that directly to your notes. So if you really like that feedback and go, wow, I really like that, I want to be able to look at that later, you can just send copy to notes at the bottom. The last thing I wanted to point out before we continue or close this out is in the courses, we also have images and some Bible maps. These have been built so that they are dynamic and interactive. So when you're reading through, for example, Abraham's call from Ur to Canaan, you have the ability for the map to pop up. Very simple, just click and drag to move the map around. Anything is clickable. So for example, this kingdom area here, if we click on it, we realize that this is the Babylonian kingdom. It'll give you an idea of the time and a little bit about the history and what was going on at that time, and how does the book of Genesis interact with the Babylonian kingdom of that time, of that day. We can also see the cities here, and if you click on Ur of the Chaldeans, you'll see that Abraham's birthplace, he started his journey here. You'll see that he went all the way up to Haran, and this is where his father died. And then you can follow it down and see where he all the way went into the land of Canaan. Other cities that we've highlighted and chosen specifically to list are there for a reason, so take a look. You can also go full screen and zoom in with your mouse, click and drag to move it around, and this is just an easier way to explore the maps. We highly recommend you use this way. Even the route itself is clickable, and sometimes where you click on the route will give you different information as well. So it's designed to be an exploration for you. The last piece we want to highlight is the today. This is the map, the modern map right now of the Middle East. If we slide it to the left, you'll notice it brings in slowly the time of Abraham. And if we go all the way to the left, it helps you to really focus in on what we're trying to highlight. So you'll see the Tigris and the Euphrates are there as well. To get back to the normal screen, you can simply hit escape or change the zoom icon in the upper right. And that's the maps. So hopefully that's helpful to you to help give you some more context and understanding of what's going on in scriptures. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful study, prayerful time with God, and that your life is transformed.